Distinguished delegates, I would like to extend my warmest greetings to you all. It is truly an honor and a source of pride for me to stand on this stage today and to warmly congratulate all of you who are present here. On behalf of the Vietnam CEO community, I would also like to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for being here in this hall today. May I ask everyone to give a big round of applause for all of us. Today, we are living in an era, I believe it is the most fascinating era in human history, when the world is truly flat, when an event happening halfway across the globe can affect each and every one of us. For example, things like trade barriers or the war in Ukraine with Russia, right? Or the war in Israel, any move happening anywhere in the world can directly impact our work. So where does that impact come from? At its core, it all originates from technology. It's like we're living in a history book about humanity, written by the author of the book on human history, right? Recently, in his new book, he said that the history of human civilization is essentially the ways in which information networks are combined. And because technology changes, the way people communicate and the structure of information networks also changes. I think that everyone in this room today shares three things in common. First, we are all customers of some product. That's the first point. The second point is business. We are all involved in some kind of business. And the third point is technology. Many people in this room today are either working in technology or are users of technology. These three factors are closely interconnected because if a business serves customers without using technology, it just wouldn't work, right? If technology doesn't help the business to grow and serve customers, that's not going to work either. And if technology and business within a company are very closely aligned and harmonious, but customers leave, reject, and switch to a competitor's product, as happened with Nokia or Kodak, for example, that doesn't work either. So customers, business, and technology are the three key factors. They are three sides of the same issue. Now, if we talk about technology, looking back 15 or 17 years ago, there were four main trends. Those were mobile, social networks, cloud, and analytics. And all of those trends, even though they progressed quite slowly, today everyone in this room uses mobile devices. And it's the same for people out on the street and all over the world. Everyone is using the cloud, whether it's Gmail, Zalo, or watching Netflix. All of those companies like Facebook or others are based on the cloud. We are all users of social networks. That includes TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Zalo. And what does that mean? It means all our data is on those platforms. And that data is on the cloud, and we are interacting with it through mobile devices. And that leads us to the fourth area, which technology companies predicted 15 to 17 years ago, analytics. Today, that issue is all about AI and data. So if last year at this conference, we called it the Future Fit IT strategy, meaning we need to have an IT strategy so that it fits the future, meaning it meets the needs of the future. At that time, we didn't know whether it would be AI, cybersecurity, robotics, or something else. But this year, the name of the conference is AI-driven leadership, because AI is now present everywhere in the world, right? Since the beginning of this year, we've heard stories about the US president wanting to invest $500 billion in data centers for AI. But then we heard that DeepSeek introduced a calculation method that's 100 times cheaper than OpenAI's approach. So the story about investing $500 billion quieted down again. After that, we saw OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google continuously releasing one model after another. And if we follow technology news, we'll find it exhausting just to keep up with the headlines. Even without looking into what it actually is, it's already hard enough to keep track. And people are saying it seems like something's wrong. It seems like everyone is talking about AI. But remember, AI could also be a hype, just like the internet was in the 2000s. Could it be that this whole process is just everyone saying AI is a gold mine and companies like NVIDIA or all the others are actually selling the shovels for gold digging to other companies, like banks such as mine, or you in retail or in securities, right? We're out here buying shovels to dig for gold, but where exactly is the gold? Recently, though, there was an executive from a company, Mark Zuckerberg, who said, I think maybe this could be a mistake, that everyone is getting a bit too carried away with AI. But if we have to pay hundreds of billions for this mistake, then Meta will pay, right? And we also know that he himself spent 15 billion just to acquire a team, which was really just to bring in a few people. But we also know that the same company spent a lot of money to acquire some young talents, and then some of them ended up moving to OpenAI. So basically, we're living in a story where the things we read about in the news are directly impacting us. Because those inventions, those models are present right on our phones. For example, recently I noticed this on Facebook. A lot of people are posting prom photos where you upload your picture and it generates an image of you, right? And that is directly related to the story of how Gemini, after a while, seemed to fall behind its competitors. Recently, everyone saw that Google's market cap, or rather Alphabet's, surpassed 3 trillion for the first time. Because in a series of metrics, Gemini has surpassed its competitors. And recently, Gemini received a gold medal at the Math Olympiad, even though it had never been trained for the competition. It just got the problem, analyzed it on its own, and immediately won the gold medal. That's why our seminar is called AI-Driven Leadership. It means that today's leaders need to understand AI and apply AI to run their businesses in this era. And furthermore, as AI advances, hackers will also use AI to attack. So in security, we also have to use AI to defend against them. Isn't that right? With processing speed. So one of the topics in our seminar will be cybersecurity. And whether it's AI or not, it is created, applied, and invented by humans. Applied by people, used by people. Actions are taken by people. That's why we have the topic of leadership and talent. How will company leaders think in this situation? Leaders also need to learn about AI. Employees need to learn about AI. So do the existing personnel in a company have the capability to apply AI? Should we grow talent internally, or should we acquire talent from outside? If we move too quickly, will we end up like people buying shovels to dig for gold, or get caught up in the AI hype? If we don't follow this trend, will we fall behind? That's the topic of leadership and talent. And the final topic is the story of co-innovation. Today, the world's leading technology companies, the 5 largest companies by market capitalization, are all tech companies, and they all started as startups. For example, NVIDIA or Google, those were started by 2 graduate students at Stanford University, right? And that became Google. Someone who dropped out of Harvard in their first year went on to create Facebook. Another person who dropped out, Bill Gates, right? He left to sell the MS-DOS operating system to IBM because he didn't have any more time. Today, we have a representative from IBM here. So what's the story? It means that the world is being shaped by technology, by tech companies. And those tech companies are leading the world. So startups are an extremely important story. In Vietnam, it may not be very strong yet, but it's a trend. And how can we help startups grow? And how can companies with their financial capabilities and human resources work together? Together with startups, that's the topic of coin innovation, and those are the 4 topics for today, as you saw in the previous video. And today we are also in a very special period as our country's leaders are very interested in digital transformation, right? We see VNED, or when we talk about digital mass education, all levels are talking about this issue. But when we want to talk about the story of national digital transformation, it comes back to the topics of data and AI, cybersecurity, leadership and talent, and core innovation. So today is going to be a very long day, so I wish all of you a day full of energy and enthusiasm, and that we are here together to share our visions, to debate the challenges together, to propose ideas, and to outline actions so that together we can build a vision and actions for Vietnam's digital transformation journey and its impact on the region. I hereby declare the CIO Summit 2025 officially open.